So New Zealand 16, England 15, that was a really close match. I really liked it. I think both sides will take a lot from it because it really tested them in every single area. For England, they're going to be gutted because they know they could have won this match. I wouldn't say they deserved to win the match. They were good, but I think New Zealand probably edged it on balance, but they had some chances here for sure. New Zealand looked a bit rattled at times, but some quality came through, particularly in the scrum. So for New Zealand, first test out with Scott Robertson there in charge, they'll take the win and move on. Plenty to build on for them. Plenty of good things as well. For England, lots of positives. The attack continues to impress. The line out was really good, but that scrum, a massive weakness, and they couldn't get it done. Marcus Smith showed what he could do in attack, but also some of his weaknesses, his goal kicking, some of those decisions. So very interesting. Let's get into it. I like to talk through the narrative of the game a bit and actually pull out some of the key things from that. That's the way I like to do it. And from the off, England took the sting out of the home team fairly well. Their defence was probably the best I've seen it under Felix Jones, that's for sure. A nice early rip on the first New Zealand play, some solid line-out work, some solid kicking work. They built themselves into the game fairly well. And we see the first scrum. The weight stat shows you that New Zealand had the advantage, and they definitely had the power advantage as well. But England got a few bits of joy from the scrum technically, but New Zealand built into that game in the scrum, and eventually they really dominated it. And the first early miss for Smith from a penalty, vital penalty misses really could have been the difference. I know Mackenzie missed some as well, but Smith curls it wide very badly. If they play Smith again and start him, which they could do because he does a lot of good things, I would definitely have Slade kicking. He definitely showed that as a major weakness in this game. But early on, we saw that New Zealand were trying to work the ball wide. England know this. They press really fast. Absolutely flying up to get that deep playmaker, which they did pretty well. They managed to catch the playmaker man and ball a few times. Slade absolutely blitzing up like a demon. Nearly actually dislodges the ball to give Fewa-Butu a try, but it was actually a knock-on. So some good attack v defence early on. First coordination error from England on 10 minutes as George and Cunningham South muck up a trick line-out, which was a bit annoying. But apart from that, I thought the England line-out went really, really well. Then we get the early signs of De Groot getting the edge in the scrum, but a bit messy from New Zealand as they can't build anything in the first 10 minutes. So New Zealand, they know they've got that scrum advantage, maybe a little bit too desperate to make it tell early on, giving away a few technical things, but they definitely get set later in the game. Then on 14 minutes, we get the first big play of the game. Lots of phases for New Zealand, moving England around. England defending pretty well, but when you get that many phases, there's going to be something somewhere. And Mackenzie spots it. Brilliant crossfield kick to Rees. Absolutely nailed that one. Good team try. 5-0. And Baxter is on early for Joe Marler, who's injured. So Baxter has to go really deep in this game, and I think does pretty well for a young prop on his debut. Obviously, the scrummaging, the work on for England for sure. But then the first shot fired from England on 20 minutes and a really nice counter-attack from Furbank. And Furbank had a brilliant game, probably his best game for England, I'd say. He was under a lot of pressure, excellent under the high ball, really hard in the tackle, and he made those counter-attacks and got England going, as did Mitchell. The attack, I think, dropped off a bit, definitely, when Alex Mitchell went off. And Smith did this a couple of times in this match, kicked the ball away where England were in good positions and really could have just stayed there. Even if the attack is fizzling out, just stay in possession. But England get another attack, and this time a really good kick from Ollie Lawrence puts Mackenzie in all sorts of problems. Fewa-Butu, who's another very good tackling back, knocks Mackenzie into touch, and it's a really tidy back peel move from England. Like I said, very slick at the line out. Cunningham South showing his power, and Atoje, who had a fantastic game, scores. So it's 5-7. They get the conversion, and they are ahead. Tidy line out drill. Good power, good conversion. That was nice from England. So 20-all, and it seems fairly evenly balanced, both sides showing some attacking teeth. But then the New Zealand scrum starts to dominate, and it becomes a bigger and bigger problem for England. But then some really good feet from Perifetta causes Earl to miss a bad tackle, and Surveyor is in for the try. So brilliant stuff from Perifetta. He actually gets taken off and replaced by Bowden Barrett, which he'll feel a little aggrieved for. But that was class from Perifetta, plus he gave the pass to Ardy Surveyor perfectly. So there's a try, no conversion. New Zealand go back ahead. Again, England kick away a really good attacking position. Slade this time, and then Rees kills him with a really good 50-22. But Slade actually recovers for an interception. England had plenty of chances. Things like this, kicking the ball away, taking the odd kick, they know that could have been the difference in this game. So they'll definitely be kicking themselves. Then we see Mark Talea starting to slip through players. He has a great game. He is quick. I'm sure he's quick. He's one of those players who maybe doesn't look like he's quick, but he just slipped through so many players. Will Stewart looking particularly bad on that one, not even moving for the tackle, just kind of a tickle tackle attempt. And I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Will Stewart at this level. I think he struggles around the park. I was watching him a lot in defence. He's a bit of a liability, but England's front row aren't that strong altogether. Anyway, on the half hour, danger signs for England as New Zealand are starting to pick a few holes. England getting a little narrow. Their line speed is good, but there are some holes there. Some good straight lines from New Zealand, but England only within 3 points. So even though New Zealand are ramping up the pressure, the game is still close. England's go-to attack from halfway is the high kick, which didn't really get any joy. Tommy Freeman on the wing is particularly good at that, but he had a bit of a nothing game essentially, couldn't get into it at all. A sloppy knock-on that phase of play. Furbank, though, is proving very valuable on that counter-attack. The scrum seems to have stabilised in the second bit of the first half. Then just before half-time, England earned 3 valuable points to get it to 10-all. It's a really good counter-up from George Martin on Scott Barrett. And then Scott Barrett himself gets tackled deep as New Zealand try and push the ball wide a little bit too much from deep. Lawrence Jackals, there's the penalty, 10-all. So well won for England. I think 10-all, about fair for that half. Into the second half, and England have their best spell by a long way. Maybe could have won the match here. New Zealand desperate to get that scrum going, but aren't scrummaging straight. And Marcus Smith has a penalty, but a bad miss. England really should have taken those points against New Zealand. That was another bad miss. But a couple of minutes later, Atoje, who's on fire with a good turnover. England can't quite build the phases there, but then the try comes a couple of minutes later, and it's really good work from England. Lovely delayed pass from Smith, fall away pass, really nice stuff. Cunningham South clean through, lots of patience. Earl carries a couple of times. The space is out wide. It's spotted by Smith. Lovely long pass to Feiwabosu to walk it in. There is no respecting the kicker in New Zealand, it seems, as the boos just ring out for every kick. But anyway, Smith misses again, but they are ahead. So bad misses from the tee from Smith. But England 10-15 ahead. Can they make the most of this good period of possession? Because it's starting to pop a bit. Mitchell and Smith pulling the strings. But the answer is no, not quite. Tom Curry's introduced early into the second half for Cunningham South, which I think is a bit early because Cunningham South have been looking very good. They get Barrett on for New Zealand as well, like I mentioned. But Curry's first play really is to give away a costly penalty for Mackenzie to land 13-15. Atoje is having one of his best games for England in a couple of years, nicking lineouts, turnovers, plus the try, of course, doing lots of good things, but not getting those kicks, and they give away a few penalties after their good spell of possession. And Talea's starting to make some breaks. Goodness me, that guy must be covered in grease before every single game because he slips out of so many tackles. But the English defence continues to look good. Now, England continue to get good attacking positions, but Smith again just too eager to make something happen from nothing, kicks the ball away with no hope of getting it back, and eventually England lose 60 metres of that. Yes, Smith's got those attacking skills, but he just needs to calm down at times, and it results in 3 points to New Zealand, 16-15, and that really was the game right there. Finn Smith actually replaces Marcus after that. England's line-out continues to be pretty good. New Zealand's scrum continues to absolutely destroy the English pack, looking really bad at the end there, and they trap England in their own half. England getting a little bit leggy, and New Zealand have a chance to kill the game off because it's a no-arms tackle from Alex Coles. Penalty to Mackenzie. The ref actually warns Mackenzie a couple of times that he needs to get on with it. He ignores the ref or doesn't hear him, and the shot clock runs out and the ref just calls it null and void, and England escape and get one more attack. but Papali'i gets the match-winning turnover. So Mackenzie could have been costly there by running out the shot clock. England had a chance to win that match, but I wouldn't say they deserved to win, but they definitely deserved to be close. New Zealand know they need to be better, but they'll take the win. Massive scrum, no win, seemed to be the case here. So let me know what you thought. Pop all those comments below. Do like, do subscribe, that would be awesome, and I'll catch you next time.